welcome back to my channel. My name is Sacred Lotus and welcome to another adventure here on Slackville. Today we have a enchantment room to build. I want to build an underground library of sorts. A cozy little corner for me to do my enchanting and maybe read a book. And I've just about finished gathering the resources for the main parts of the build. And I'm also working on gathering materials for decorating the outside of the mob farm. As you can tell, it's kind of a flare structure, and without anything to prettify it, it's pretty much an eyesore. As I kind of drawn out a pattern which I'm going to build around for the roots of a tree. I'm going to build it up and make a whole big old giant tree. One that perhaps has been here for quite a while. I think it will add a nice feature to the area. Kind of give you an idea of how old the village will be once I've got other houses around. So far we've only got the one house on this land. But I do have ideas to put others in. So just so I can, gather my thoughts, I'm gonna take a break because I've been working for quite a while now. So I'm gonna take a shopping break, and when we get back, we'll get started on that library / enchantment room. Okay, so a bit of time later, I think I've made a pretty good start on what I want for the library enchantment space. I've got 4 in the middle, so because it's a double wide, because it sat directly underneath the mob farm, I wanted to make it double wide so it would gel better with the room. But I think if you can't tell from this angle, it's a bit off center. So I may need to do some alterations with the room configuration. Any dumb chests I had here previously are now over here, full of all the stuff I was using to build the space. And not all of the sides of the bookcases are finished. I needed to build up some more materials. Also made this part of the collection system for the mob farm. I don't know, I guess because if I'm stood in here doing enchantments anyway, I may as well have a bit of space for mob farm stuff. Then I can clear up space in my storage for building materials. And the mob farm's still doing pretty good for the bits I need for XP and such. Yeah. So yeah, I've still got quite a bit of wood chopping to do, and I've got not only the tree to build around the mob farm, I also have plans to build a few houses around here. As I want to build a little house in this area. This amount of dirt, I want to be a house with a dirt roof, a grassy roof, and I want to house like a super smelter in here. I think this spot here would be perfect for that. So I have an extra AFK spot for farms. My other thought for building a house, I want to build a wee one that's sort of hanging off the cliff edge there that drops into the hole, so I can maybe turn that bank there where the pointer is into all wheat fields. Try and make it an aesthetic wheat farm. I actually don't mind manual wheat farms, although I am debating it to maybe fit in a automatic wheat farm inside the farmhouse, or maybe I could make it a mill. I haven't decided yet whether to make it a regular house or into a flour mill, a windmill, because I've done water mill before, but I want to do maybe a windmill. There's other farms I want to make up as well, because it's going to be a little farming community. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. I'm gonna get on with some tree chopping, and I'll see you later. Okay guys, so after some time doing, and apparently we've got more bees in the area, I've been working on the little house that I want to put here, and I've got the starts of an interior. I don't normally start with interior, but because this house is going to be built into the hillside with a grassy bank for a roof, I decided to start on the inside. So I've got a decent amount of space to move around while I'm AFK, and it gives me a chance to see where windows are actually going to go, where they actually make sense. And also, because I want this area to be connected to a room for a super smelter, that's where I want to put here. I want a separate corridor, separate. So I want this to be like living space, and this back gap here to lead towards like a workspace, if that makes sense. So we've got a fireplace. I've put into. Normally, I actually make full working chimneys, but because I want the grassy areas to be reserved for tree growing as much as possible, I've put in some dispensers to act as smoke vents for the fire plumes. So it kind of looks like the smoke is being, channeled up and out. So not to make a smoky house. I've got one last little bit of stone here to take care of, and pop a log here and then strip it, because I want to make it look like it's got like tree roots growing into the floor and stuff, that I've somehow decided to, build around, I think it looks pretty nice actually. Might add some liking to make it a bit more root-like. Yeah, it's a good start. So I'm gonna work on some more of the interior walls, and then maybe we'll fix the outside later. Okay, so I'm in the middle of working on the super smelter part of this building session, and I'm having a little bit of, I must say, a very frustrating time with these rails. When I'm placing them, and trying to do that, they're switching places and going down. And I think the mechanics for rails, well, redstone in general, is different in Bedrock versus Java, which is where I previously made a super smelter. And I've been spending a good 5-10 minutes trying to get these rails to connect straight, and even tried doing a regular rail on a but it's just doing the same thing, because I've got some extra rails here, and But now it wants to work. But will you work with the powered rail is my question. Yay! We seem to have some form of understanding with our blocks. I've been telling them off for the last 5 minutes, and there we go again. They're misbehaving again. I mean, I was telling the hoppers off before because apparently there's a function on Bedrock where you can place forward, and I somehow managed to do that while I was pointing at a different block entirely. And so I was like telling my hoppers off. I talk to my materials, guys. It's okay. I'm not insane. I mean no more than insane than anyone else, but I'm not insane. But anyway, yeah, I'm having some frustrations right now, guys. So, if I don't get this sorted by the end of the episode, let me know down in the comments, if you have any tips and hints. Would really appreciate that, because I'm at a loss here. Anyway, I will bring you back in soon when I've had more progress, assuming there has been progress, that is. Okay, guys, so I've done some tinkering about, and I've managed to fix the problem I was having with the Minecraft rails. So I was able to finish the smelter, and yeah, it's all done and finished, and I've even gone ahead and decorated a little bit around the machine. I've already smelted up some fuel for it, so there's quite a bit in. I'll probably make some more fuel in a bit, actually, because I had a thought. I've got the kelp farm in my lake over here, and I could use dried kelp blocks as fuel. I do believe it's one of the better ones for fuel, and dang it. Hang on. Okay, so where was I before we were interrupted by the server restart there? Yeah. Since I have the kelp farm in the lake over here, I was thinking I could use dried kelp blocks as my fuel source, as well as using it for supplying my shop in the shopping district. Because I believe it's one of the better fuel sources in the game. I'll probably double check that later, but somewhere I am convinced that that is the fact that we are trying to mention here. And I do believe I heard an intruder. Nope, we will not have trader assassins wandering around my base. No. Stand still. It'll hurt less if you don't wander. Thank you. Right. Take the lever and the leads, because they always come in handy. We can't have intruders on our land. I mean, they could take sensitive information back to their overlords. I don't know who their overlords are, but they are overlords. Okay? Okay. Right. Anyway, now that the smelter is finished, I think I want to move on and do something else for a little bit, at least make a start on something else. As I mentioned earlier in the episode, I want to make like a windmill or something to go with my wheat farm area, and I decided that I would maybe try and fit in a small semi-automatic wheat farm inside it. So I want to make a start on that. So I'm gonna put the bulk of it built into that cliff there, and have the propeller section of the windmill, like, you know, above it. So I've been tinkering away with ideas of how to configure that in creative. I think I have a plan of action, so I'm going to gather up some materials and I will make a start on that quite soon. Okie dokie, guys. So after doing some tinkering, I have a footprint here, or blueprint, however way you want to call it, with sort of a mapped out area for the farms. Now they're going to be built up in that direction. They're not going to be directly on this floor. It would be so I can build a windmill around the farm once it's actually up and functional. So yeah, I feel like that's a good place to start. So I'm gonna get about building up a sort of frame to put it in, and I will bring you back in once that is done. Okay guys, so here's what we've managed to get done so far. We've pretty much run out of materials actually, so I probably have to wait till next episode before I continue building this. But let me quickly show you what I've done so far. I've mainly just built up a frame for the farm, and so I can build the functional side of the farm before I do any of the pretty stuff. I've already completed one level. Originally I was gonna do trapdoor flush system, but it turns out that trapdoors don't hold back water in Bedrock. You have to remember, for majority of my time making YouTube videos with Minecraft, I played Java, so there's a lot of the redstone functions that I think they were patched for Bedrock, or I don't know if they were always like that or if they were patched or what, but somewhere along the line trapdoors stopped holding back water on Bedrock. So yeah, so I've got dispensers here instead, each with a bucket of water in. I've got some wheat growing ready for the first sort of test. Let me show you up here as well. I've started on the next level. I ran out of materials, so I didn't have enough dispensers. Yeah, so I'm gonna build up on this side as well. I'm gonna keep building up until I've got all four sides of this frame all kitted out with wheat stuff, and then I'll probably figure out how I'm gonna go about, you know, making it pretty. It's gotta be a windmill, so but I also want it still accessible and functional, so I can, you know, access the farms and collect their wares. And I made sure I had plenty of space down here. The warp block has been my temporary block replacing the hoppers. I need to make up chests. So I've got a lot of like groundwork to do to make sure I've got all the materials for next time. So I would say that is pretty much it for today's episode. Before I sign off for the day, letting you know, guys, the weekend after this episode comes out, because I'm hoping to get out this week, there's going to be a live stream weekend here on the Slackville server. I'm participating on both days. I put my name down for both days. So be sure to come along to that. I don't know what order the streamers will go in as of yet, but we will know soon. I will probably post on Twitter when that will happen. Probably in the next day or two we'll probably get the schedule. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate taking the time to watch my videos. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye bye.